Welcome to online teaching. Today we will discuss chapter 9, the Industrial Revolution. This is module first, okay? In this we will discuss about the first industrial revolution that occurred in Britain. What were the reasons and how this industrial revolution helped the coming generation, helped in improving the economic condition. Okay, now the industrial revolution was between 1780s to 1850s in England. Okay. And up to that, England was the first country where there were the changes in industries and economic value of the country. And after that, this place was taken by Germany and USA, because in England there were not much development of chemicals and electrical goods as compared to Germany and USA. In the second phase of this revolution, after 1850 onwards, Germany and USA, they were at the first position in means of this industrial revolution. Because during that time period, a lot of inventions and discoveries that were going on, and these innovations, these changes, these transformation helped in the industrial revolution. Okay, now England was, why England? Because in England was a monarchy country that includes Wales and Scotland also. It means this was a united economy, and this was even a vast area also. What was that? Common currency. Common currency was followed in this. Common laws were there. It means rules and regulations, and not much interference of local rulers. It means in business, these, if any of the territory is acquired by any of the local ruler, then in business they will create problem. Because if they are into the coastal area, then they will try to levy taxes. If they are onto the land boundary, they will also try to start the revenue and taxes also. So it means these were some of the common factors that helped that England was the best country where the industrial revolution started. And even these rulers, because monarchy system was there, so they were having a common domain of all the things. Nothing was separated, and even the minerals or other things that were found, that were united. So this was the reason that industrial revolution started in England. Okay, now next thing was there, it was also that agriculture was also an important one. Agriculture, what was that? Different crops were grown, and what happened? Big landowners acquired the lands of small farmers. They purchased, they acquired anyhow, and due to this the area of agriculture land increased, and due to this good production was achieved, and good area was there, so it means more production, more improvement in economy, and that was the reason that agriculture also played an important role into the industrial revolution. But the farmers, these poor people, had to migrate because they were not having any alternates, not any options for survival, because the land was taken by these big landowners and they were not having enough circumstances, enough area, enough land to do the agriculture, to do different works. So this was the agriculture also stress that will help into the industrial revolution, because that will provide raw material especially for the cotton industry, and this raw material that was used for to the different industries. Okay, now next thing, trade, towns and finance. Trade, towns and finance, these things were there. It means there was expanding of the towns. The number of towns were increasing. The number of towns were increasing, and the population also doubled. In some of the towns and cities, there was a huge increase in the population, and out of 20 cities, 11 cities belong to England. It means when there was an increase into the population, these were some of the 20 cities in Europe, and out of that 11 cities belong to England. It means these were agriculture and industrial revolution helped in increasing the population, because good options were available. Economic condition also become strong, and what was that? The money was paid in the form of wages, and salaries, in spite of goods. Earlier what was there? There was exchange of goods. The salary was given in the form of goods. But when this industrial revolution started, the salaries were paid into the form of money. And England was the country where enough money was started. Yes, circulation of money was there in the society, in the business. And this was the reason that the towns, they also started to grow up, because these poor people, they started to migrate to towns in search of the work, and due to this there was increase in the population. And what about the trade? The trade also started to flourish. It means because as the population increased, enough labor was available and good agriculture production. And what was that? England had good navigation system. Because before the invention of railways, navigation was through, transportation was through sea routes, and they had good network of rivers and canals. And due to this, what was that? Every river connects to seas, and cities were well connected to these rivers. It means these were some of the reasons that England, because these rivers were used for navigation to take the goods from one place to another. That was the central part to the different parts of Europe and even to Africa and America. This was the reason, because that was the central point. From England, the goods were easily sent to America as well as Africa, because good network of this navigation or this water system was available. And some of the cities like Italy, France, Holland, these were some of the cities also that were also growing. It means this trade also started to flourish. Next is finance. It means Bank of England. Bank of England started in 1694, and within few years or within 50 years it increased to hundreds of the banks. Within 5-10 years it started to double, but because as there were need of the money, there were exchange of these goods were there, so banks were required to finance the trading system. So England were most responsible, and due to these some of the factors, because banks were started where there were no such problem of the finance, these were some of the factors that helped England to have the first industrial revolution.